making it despite the problem with the flights. Well done, Fiona, social media and Google or Hangout experts for sorting that out. Jenny Garrett runs two businesses, Reflection Associates Leadership Consultancy and Rocking Your Team. She's no stranger to foster women. Some of you will remember she spoke with us in 2013. Since then, she has been very busy and been winning awards all over the place. She was awarded Women's Coach of the Year 2014. She's appeared on the BBC's Apprentice, been a judge for Nivea's Bring It On campaign, and launched her own online coaching program for busy women, which is the Happenistaproject. And she's going to talk to us today about how to make things happen your way. So over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. As you know, I'd love to be there because I bet it's nice and warm and I'd be able to give you all a hug, but you know, that's how it is today. Have you had a great morning?
Yes.
Woo! Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So that's really good news. At least you're having a fantastic time. So I'm going to talk to you about making it happen your way. And I'm sure there'll be some themes that come through the other talks that you've had today. I know you've received practical tips and inspiration, but hopefully this will just maybe cement it or reinforce what's been said already. So really I wanted to start by just saying a little bit about me. I had a really great introduction there. I think it was from Fiona because I couldn't see her, she's out of the screen. But just to tell you a little bit about me and my journey, because how many of you are familiar with me? How many of you seen me before? Or one lady, oh, Jackie, of course, yes, is that Annabelle? So a few, not that many actually, so it might be just good to tell you a little bit about me and my journey and what I do before we go on to really those sort of strategies around making it happen. Can you actually hear me?
Yes.
Yes, this is good because I can keep asking questions and it's great to be able to see you. So I've been running my business since 2006. As I said, it was a leadership and coaching consultancy. And prior to that, I had senior marketing roles in organizations. I worked for Hamptons International, a big estate agency, Schroeder Leasing, and then I went to work for a business school called Ashridge Business School. And it was there that a colleague, who's now a really good friend, came into my office and just said to me, Jenny, where next? You're as high as you can go in this organization. You better get a bigger team with a bigger budget, maybe go into London, because I live in Hertfordshire, just north of London. Or she said, how about training people in marketing on some of our programs? And neither of those ideas appealed to me. My daughter, who's now 13 and very stroppy, was a very cute little 1-year-old at the time, and I wanted to be close in terms of lifestyle. And I actually never saw myself standing up in front of groups of people. I was a bit of a nervous wreck when it came to public speaking. Knees were knocking, you know, stuttering. It's something I do all the time now, but at that time I didn't see myself and weren't confident enough to do that. So then she said to me, well, how about coaching? She said, coaching, you know, you actually do coach people on a daily basis. They come in, they listen, you listen to them, they come away motivated and with action. And although I wasn't completely convinced that she was telling the truth, because I had this L-shaped office, and so I think actually people were coming in and hiding because no one knew they were in my office. She said they were being coached. I thought I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and attend a coaching program. I attended a coaching program. Who's attended a coaching program there? Anyone? One? Oh, 2, 3, yeah. So a small percentage of you, maybe 5 to 10 of you, have attended a coaching program. And maybe you'll understand what I say when I found it really personally and professionally very transformational. I'd go back home after 3 days being on a course to my husband and say, darling, let's unpack a few things. And luckily he sort of rolled his eyes and didn't leave me and put up with me sort of having quite a personal transformation through the process of going through a coaching program. So I, went back into my work and said, oh, I really want to coach. I love doing this. And they were really great in that they let me start to coach on some of their programs, but they said it was never going to be full time. And so I had this dilemma. I really found the thing I love to do, but I couldn't do it in an employed status. And I never ever had that burning desire to be an entrepreneur. So it was quite a dilemma for me. I got some coaching myself, and between my coach and I, we decided that I'd go down to 4 days a week in this employed job, and on the final day, start to build a coaching practice and see if I could grow and develop a business. And if I could, then I could possibly take the leap into employment. So it would be great to do a straw poll. How many people are employed in the audience? 1, 2. So just a couple of you. So the rest of you all sort of running your own businesses, or so who's running a business? Yes, most of you. Okay, great. And those who are not running a business, what are you doing then? Are you students? Are you in between work, on holiday? Okay, I didn't quite catch that, but okay. So most of you are running your own business, and taking that leap to run your own business can be, quite a hard thing to do. I don't know how. Sometimes we get pushed, and sometimes it's necessity, and sometimes it's something you've always wanted to do. And for me, I found the thing I really wanted to do. So within a year of going into part-time, I became freelance, and as I said, that was in 2006, and I haven't looked back. Throughout this process, though, I've always been learning and developing myself. And it's a real credit to all of you that you've taken time out to do that today, because I think that's a key part of staying ahead and being the best you can be in your business, but also just being alive. I think you have to learn and unlearn things that you already know. You have to have that curiosity to keep learning and keep developing yourself, and really be self-motivated to do that when you're in your own business. So since doing that, I've engaged in lots of training programs. I also got a master's in management learning and leadership, and developed my skills in providing leadership development as well as coaching. And then about coming up to 3 years ago now, I came across this term, female breadwinner, a term I wasn't familiar with in an article I read by a lady who had written something in Australia. And it just hit me, oh my gosh, I'm a female breadwinner. Because when I started my business, I started to earn more. And at the same time, my husband, who had been an accountant, decided to follow his dream, which was to work with disaffected young people, the naughty ones, the ones who get excluded from school, have a bit of a troubled background. It's a really noble work, but it doesn't necessarily bring in much of an income. And when I found this term and read this article, I thought, is it just me and this woman in Australia who are the main earner, or are there lots of us about? And I sent a message out into the internet, into the ether, just saying, are you the main earner? How do you feel about it? And I got one message back which really kind of made me think. It was a woman in America, and she said, I was the main earner for 3 years, and those were dark days. And I just thought, gosh, no one should feel like that. It should be something that we can be proud of, something that we can, do something, that we can think, gosh, we're able to make a difference. And actually maybe liberating for the men in our lives or our partners, in that actually maybe money's not the only thing that they can think about in terms of their job. Maybe they can do something, that's their real passion as well. So I engaged in lots of research and found that I had so much information that I wrote a book called Rocking Your Role, which is a guide to success for crafting the life you want, really, as a main earner. It's about having the conversations you want to have with your partner. It's about not feeling burdened. It's about ditching that guilt that I think a lot of us women carry over our shoulders as like a very heavy handbag, whether that's around caring responsibilities, or about doing the best work we can, or even about giving ourselves time. And I wrote that book, and it came out in July 2013, and as a result, it propelled me into the world of really working with women a lot. Before that, I'd just been working with leaders generally. So now I do lots of talks for women. I provide programs and services for women, and coaching specifically for women. And a lot of it is around juggling all of the aspects of your life, but a lot of it is also about taking that leap into entrepreneurship and really taking your business seriously, moving it from a hobby to actually a money-making endeavor that really makes a difference for you. within this journey, I've always had a mentor and mentored. Who here has a mentor? Okay, so a small percentage. And who here mentors? Again, a small percentage. I don't know if you've touched on mentoring this morning, but I would love, if I was going to do this talk again next year, for everyone to be putting their hand up for both. You know, I'm a mentor for the Cherie Blair Foundation. So at the moment, I mentor female entrepreneurs. One is in Botswana, and previously it was a woman in South Africa. It's hugely beneficial. You know, the mentor does get something out of it, but you learn what you know. You know, by actually having to share it with someone else, you realize you know more than you do. And also, you learn from their thinking process and from what they're doing. So it really is, you know, a real learning process and a really helpful process to mentor other people. And it's also really good to be able to give back as well. You know, it's a really great sense of, you know, I'm giving something to someone else, I'm really supporting them. People often ask me, how do you get a mentor? Stalking is good. That's my recommendation. Find someone that you really admire and that's, you know, quite impressive to you. You know, maybe stalk them a bit on social media, maybe invite them for a coffee, and don't tell them that they're mentoring you, but ask them some really good questions. You know, it doesn't have to be a formal relationship, so don't get caught up in that. Just find a way to get what you want from different people. And you know, often one mentor can't give you everything you need. So don't be afraid to have a few different mentors for different things. And you know, don't just have women mentors. Men are great mentors too and can give you a really valuable insight and a different perspective. So if there's, you know, one thing at least I'd like you to take away from today, get a mentor and get someone quickly who's really willing to support you. And it might be someone in the room. You might do some buddy mentoring. It might be someone who you've sort of clicked with today, who you can hold each other account and support each other. If I was showing my slides, the last picture on this slide that I'm showing would be of my family, my husband and my daughter. My husband, who puts up with me through this process of sort of sharing that I'm the main earner and being very vulnerable about our whole life. And my daughter, who I said is a stroppy 13-year-old, but who actually inspires me on a daily basis. You know, the work I do is really about her. It's about, you know, I know that if I take myself out of my comfort zone, she will too, because whatever your mum does must be easy, so you know you can surpass it. And whether you have children or cats or, you know, whatever you have in your, or whoever or whatever you have in your life, please know that you are a role model and that you are leaving a legacy. And I think that's really important to kind of anchor yourself on the activities that you're doing. Other people will always be looking at what you're doing, and they'll always be, you know, inspired or aspire to do what you're doing. And don't think no one's looking, everyone's looking, and try to be the best you can be as a result of that. And you know, women are fantastic at caring about the footprint they leave in the world. So if you think about, you know, why am I doing the business I do? What legacy will it leave? I think that will always keep you on the right track, always help you to anchor your work in doing the best work, the great work that you can. So last year, I was really very lucky to be contacted by Nivea, the skincare brand. Are you familiar with them? Yeah, and they were doing a study which they called the Bring It On study, and they were studying 18 to 30-year-old women about their attitudes to life, to celebrity, to career, to relationships, to role models. And they asked me to help them analyze that study, and also get involved in a competition with the magazine called The Stylist, in which we were going to find someone who kind of epitomized this new breed of women. And after doing the study together, I sort of named this new breed of women Happenista's. And every single one of you in this audience that I can see are Happenista's. The woman with the nice brown boots and the front row, the person with the red hair in the third row, the person right at the back hiding. You know, you are all Happenista's. You make things happen in your own unique way. And I think that's a wonderful way to make things happen. I think often what we're doing is we're trying to look for a blueprint for success, or we're thinking we've got to do it in a certain way and take certain steps to be successful. What's really liberating about what came out of this study is actually you can craft the life you want in the way you want it to be, away from other people's assumptions. And I think that's just so liberating for us as women, because I often think what we're thinking about what the right way to do things is. We might be waiting for permission, we might be waiting to be perfect and the best at it. So I'm going to just give you a few highlights of this study, and I want you to maybe think about how they might impact your life. One of the first things was that actually 80% of women think that the career ladder is out of date. So actually working your way up in an organization is probably not the right way to go about it. There are shortcuts you can take to your success, and some of them may be talked about today. One woman on my Happenistaproject at the moment has a young child, and she finds it hard to get out in the evening and network. And so what she's done is she wrote a blog about the work she does. She's a radiologist. With her one blog, within a month, she had over 500 people reading it, including the CEO of her organization, who she would never have ever met. She would never have ever had time with. It's covered over 20 countries. And so these are the ways that technology can help you shortcut your career. Yesterday I ran a big teens conference, and there were two girls there, one 18 and one 20, called the Mandeville Sisters. They wanted to be TV presenters and actors, and one wanted to be a TV presenter, one wanted to be an actress, and they were just getting rejection after rejection. They created their own video blogs. And now they're being offered roles. People are coming to them. People are asking them to travel. Technology is a fantastic way to get your message out there and take 5 steps up the ladder instead of going one rung at a time. And if you're in an organization or you feel that people have put you in a box, you know, this is who she is, and you're trying to break out of that box, sometimes it's really hard just to say to somebody, I'm different, I'm better, bigger than that, I've changed, I know more than I did. People just seem to constrain you. A really good way is to go out and get recognition outside so that people listen to that. So an example might be, you know, perhaps you were a marketer, but you really want to move into digital marketing. If you started to write an article for a digital marketing magazine, suddenly people in your organization or people who didn't recognize you before would start to recognize your importance. So sometimes, you know, what they say, if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep trying the same thing and expect different results, it's a form of insanity. Try do something very different, and it might mean stepping out to go back in to influence the people you want to. A second thing that came out of it is about labels, really. That actually these 18 to 30-year-old women really want to be free of the labels of wife, girlfriend, childless, child-free, mum, you know, whatever the labels are. You know, I think whenever anyone labels you, I don't know if you've seen, there's a really great video and it says, I am that, and, you know, you may be a business owner and you're more than that. You may be a daughter and you're more than that. And I think, you know, recognizing that you'll always be more than the labels people give you, and that actually, you know, you can discard them, because actually sometimes when people are labeling you, what they're doing is actually constraining it to what they think of that role. So how can you rename your role in life? You know, actually, Ali, I can't remember what you call yourself, but it's a really, it's not an evocateur, or it's something fantastic. An Imagineer, beautiful. So, you know, actually create your own title, create your own label, and that's hugely liberating. And for me, the name Happinista really does that. And the last thing is that actually they saw age as, you know, that you can do whatever you want at any age. So whether it's you're very young or whether you're mature in years, that shouldn't stop you. And I think in previous times we did think that would stop us. Oh, you're too young, you've got to work your way up the ladder before we'll listen to you, or you're too old to actually start a new career or try something new. Well, actually neither of those are the case, and there's huge opportunity for whoever you are. So these Happenistas just make things happen in their own unique way. But at the heart of all of that is what they said is that they felt that women were more confident than ever before. And I think that's true. Women are doing more than they were ever doing before. Having a group of business women in this room really highlights that. But I think confidence is still something we need to work on. You know, there are many habits that really come out of this research. I think harnessing technology to accelerate your career is one. Embracing fear as part of the process. You know, I think you may have all heard of the imposter syndrome, that fact that we all think we're going to be found out at some point, you know, that, you know, someone's going to know that maybe we don't know as much as we seem to, or that really we don't really have a right to be here. I had a fabulous conversation with actually a gentleman recently who said he's a feminist, which I was really proud to hear. And he said, you know, he doesn't think of fear. He thinks of it as excitement. And if you think about it as excitement, you embrace it. So really just turning fear and reframing it as something exciting to embrace and go for. And really nourishing and looking after yourself as part of this. You know, actually, not looking after yourself is a selfish act. If you're giving to everyone, your clients, your family, your friends, and not leaving anything left for you, then actually that's really selfish, because you won't be there for them in the long term. So really incorporating in the process of being your best you, some me time in that, whether it's, you know, a night out with the girls, maybe it's a great bubble bath, maybe it's a nice walk on the beach, whatever it is, just to really look after you. So there's, at the heart of it, you know, having the right mindset so you don't self-sabotage, but also, you know, this big word that we all need to develop and we all need more of. What is the word? This with a capital C. What is it? Oh, I can't hear, actually. Really shout. Confidence. It's confidence and courage. I think I heard someone say courage. Yeah, they're both brilliant words. And I think at the heart of it is confidence. But I want to say one thing about confidence. People always say women have less confidence. Women struggle with confidence more than men. I've coached a lot of men and a lot of women, and I'd say that men have just as many self-doubts as women, but they just don't listen to that voice as much. Yeah, they decide to hear the voice but ignore it. So don't worry that you have the voice. Don't worry that you have doubt. It's just how much space you give it. It's about actually saying, you're there, but I'm going to carry on nevertheless. It's not about trying to eliminate that voice, because I don't think some of it is very healthy to stop you being arrogant or to keep you out of danger. So I have 3 A's that I believe will help you become more confident. The first is awareness of self. Yeah, it's about being self-aware and knowing who you are. The second is articulating your story. When you're able to say who you are and what you're about, you never need to apologize. There are no excuses. You can be authentically you. And the third is to act confidently. I don't mean fake it till you make it. I mean actually do it. So I'm going to elaborate on those. The first one, in terms of actually being self-aware, awareness of others is knowledge. Awareness of self is insightful. I want you to be insightful. I want you to know who you are. So to do that, you need to get feedback. Who's asked for feedback in the last week from a boss or a client or a colleague? Who's got feedback? Okay, good. It's good that there's a number of you who have done. I reckon it's about 50%. I'd love it to be 100%. Get as much feedback as you can regularly and be really specific. Don't just say, how did I do? Know what you want feedback on. How did I do in that area? You know, when I actually was able to give you a service, you know, what was it? You know, what was it about it that really made a difference for you? Get as much feedback as possible. Another thing you can do is journal. You know, actually write your thoughts down. Be aware of what you're thinking. Any self-sabotaging your thoughts, but also the good things that you think, and try and think more of them. And if you're in an organization, there are personality questionnaires that you can engage with, so you can actually find out what your preferences are and be able to communicate more effectively with others. The second thing about articulating your story is that every idea that you hold dear has a seed in your personal experience. Every idea that you hold dear has a seed in your personal experience. And what I mean by that is that actually, some things will have always come naturally to you. Maybe you were the child who pulled the other kids around the school the school playground. Maybe you were always a leader. Maybe you've had to struggle to get to where you are, and that has influenced who you are and how you act. Maybe you have a passion for a cause. It could be that you actually really care about climate change or care about animal rights. It could be something like that, your cause. Or it could be that the combination of all of your experiences make you who you are today. When you're able to articulate that, you never need to apologize. You just say, this is me, this is who I am. And the great thing about that is that you attract people to you who really get you and who really believe what you're about. You become hugely authentic.
Sorry to disturb you, sweetheart, but we're running a little bit out of time. Are you?
Okay, I'll be 2 minutes. Can I be 2 more minutes?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the last A was about acting. Okay, so sorry I've taken up too much time. And really, to act, I just mean do. Don't wait to be more beautiful. Don't wait to be smarter. Don't wait to be slimmer. Don't wait to be more intelligent. Don't wait for everything to be perfect and all plans to be in a row. Just risk being you and take a chance, because confidence comes after the act, not before. So guys, just have a fantastic time. I'm going to leave you with the words of Emma Watson's speech. If not you, who? If not now, when? Make it happen. Have a fantastic, fantastic event. And there's an offer on my Happenistaproject that I'll share with Ali. If you want to get involved, please do. Enjoy the rest of your time. Sorry I can't be there. I have lots of fun. Thank you. Very, very, very much.
Thank you very, very much, Jenny. You're wonderful. Sorry we had to cut you off there. We're running a little bit over, but it was great. Really, really great to hear that. And I think it reinforced a lot of the